Welcome to Garden Valley Church Podcasts. We are so looking forward to having you join us today.
Welcome to Wow, Look at Us Now podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Onslager.
And I'm Michael Onslager. What's up, guys? How's it going? Today we got a fun episode.
I'm already gonna laugh now.
Why?
Because you already just said, how's it going? Like they're gonna answer back.
You still ask the question. You still make.
That's so generalized. That's so fake.
No, it's not.
It was genuine.
Today topic is body image.
Yeah. That body image wise. So I know it's a problem for about everyone. I mean, whether people, or at some point in their life, maybe they have like overcame things, but I always feel like there's always something to play into body image because of social media these days. I mean, you feel like you have this social standard on what you need to look like in every single way. And if you don't look that way, if you don't look like Kim K, then you ain't pretty. And, well, no, that's why I'm saying, like, kind of like what the social standard is. Yeah. It's not that I'm, like, actually saying that. But it's just kind of what we all think. Well, and porn, I guess, because they all kind of look like that. If you don't look a certain way, then it gives you this social status of you feel like you're not enough. Or, I mean, there's so many things that could play into this, like insecurities of your own because of maybe things that have been done to you or whatever the situation is. But, basically, it's body dysmorphia is what it's called.
Yeah.
And so body dysmorphia, I wrote the definition because I love the definitions of it, what true definitions are. Body dysmorphia is a mental illness involving obsessive focus on a perceived flaw in appearance. Boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I 100% am going to say I had this. I have this probably. Because I feel like there could be some really good days where I'm like, I really don't care. And then there's some days where I pick myself apart and I know that I like have to choose to not do that, but it's...
So I've struggled with body dysmorphia for a while, and you can have it even if you have a six pack. Like you can have it if you're like... It's like, it's still not enough. I cut some weight. I got some muscles like when I was like about 18, 19. Like I started a little bit of... I wouldn't say bodybuilding, but was trying to, lift a lot and get bigger. And I saw a lot of results between that stage. Mm-hmm. And I was shredded. And yet I was still like, no, like still not good enough, got to get better. Still not good enough, got to get better. Like still, which I get it if you have a certain goal and you're trying to reach that goal, but it's still like savor the moment, be in the moment, be happy with the progress you've made kind of thing.
And there can be like healthy things that you do. There's not anything wrong, like working out, eating the right foods. Yeah. That's all healthy things, but it's how you use it. Like you can abuse anything. Yeah. You can make anything your idol. It could be something really good for you and it ends up being really toxic for you because of how you're using it. Yeah. That could be literally with the gym. Yeah. Or being so obsessive about like counting calories and about like what you put in your body. And I get that's like a healthy thing and you have goals. So I think there's a goal that you want to do, but also have joy in the process of it, I guess. Like enjoy it, because when you're no longer like enjoying it and you're starting to obsess over it, I think that's when it's...
Yeah.
Like actually, I think that when and this is not on purpose. I didn't have like an eating disorder or anything. I just started losing weight when I was going through one of my divorces. Like so much so that I was like literally so skinny. And I started to notice like how skinny I was, and I actually started being insecure. And I never thought that in my life that would be a problem for me. I'm like, wow, I've never had this problem, and it's not as great as I thought it was. Like I actually don't like feeling weak. Like to be able to do like the heavy lifting stuff. Like I have a really heavy body mass, like my muscle mass that I can do, you know, like that kind of stuff. So for me to not be able to push this really big, heavy thing and push it across the room is like, what the heck? I've never had a problem not doing that before until it was really unhealthy. And then I kind of started realizing how skinny my legs were and stuff, and that actually bothered me one time. And I was like, oh man, I'm obviously not healthy, so I think I need to start. And I, you know, it wasn't purpose, it was just stress. And I was eating the whole time, and just my body was like attacking itself somehow, I don't know. And then so I started working on my body, as in gaining muscle, and so I started lifting and stuff. And I would say maybe at first I was maybe a little bit obsessive at first, just because I was like insecure with myself. But when I started building my muscle and started looking better, that was actually probably the first time in my life when I was like super confident with myself, and I wasn't like picking myself apart, because I was like, wow, I never thought I would get my body to look like this.
Yeah.
But in the same way, then when I started gaining my weight back, because I started getting healthier and happier, and just life kicked back in because it wasn't COVID anymore, and so I didn't have time to work out all the time. So my full-time job stepped up and all this stuff. I started getting back on myself and started getting, because even if I gained weight, and like since like lifting weights, your body changes.
Yeah.
Like once you start and then you stop, it just like it changed. So even made me like, I felt like I looked worse than I ever did before, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna keep doing this.
Yeah,
like, this is kind of ridiculous.
I have stretch marks like all through like my arm and chest and stuff through the back. And I was looking at them the other day, and on the back side of my arm, because I haven't lifted in a little while, and they're not like saggy like or anything, but like now they're like, I don't know. It's just like you can tell like a difference.
Yeah,
like,
see, that's why it's so funny though, because this is a perfect example. You were like, oh my gosh, and I would literally not say that one thing looks different. I'm like, doesn't even look bad.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing that I like. So I grew up.
It's a mental illness, okay?
It is. No, it 100% is.
Well, I know.
I grew up.
Body dysmorphia. I just read the.
I grew up really
definition.
small, and so I was always like, I just wanted to be bigger. Like I hated being
yeah,
small.
it's because you were the small guy, and they probably like commented about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like always being the small.
Well, no, I mean it wasn't like I rarely got
sure.
things said like in a bad way necessarily, because even like during wrestling and stuff, like I would wrestle a lot of bigger guys, and it would still be fine. Like could match their intensity and stuff. So it wasn't a matter of that. I just didn't like being small. Like I just didn't like that feeling. I didn't like the look. So now I'm the heaviest I've ever weighed, and I still feel small. Like that same like thin small frame that I was before, like I still see that. Like
You're
walking around.
Definitely not.
I know.
Let's just say I want to look back from pictures. Actually, I did the other day. You know, because I was looking at all the times and stuff, because God's speaking to me like in all different ways, and that will be for a whole nother thing. But I was looking back in my pictures of us when we first got together, and I was like, oh my gosh, it literally doesn't even look like the same person.
No.
Like you literally were so skinny and went from straight boy to man, and like
Yeah. Well, I went
in a
from
matter of like 10 months.
I went from like
a year.
a 30 to 32-ish, you know, around that area in waist, and now I'm like a 34 pushing 36 in different pants.
And you actually look better than you did.
Yeah, and then now I'm like in extra
now
larges.
You're meaty and manly.
Well, but the body dysmorphia thing, like I still see like that small guy.
That's
like
so weird.
And then like I visited one of my old works the other day, and they're like, bro, they're like, you've gotten big, and I'm like, what? I'm like, well,
yeah, you went from
like
medium shirts to extra large. So in a matter of 2 years, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is. But it's just, it's wild to me because like I see that and I'm like, oh, thanks, you know. But at the same time,
thanks.
I'm like,
that's like the opposite. You're like, dude, you're so big. You're like, I like him thick. I like him chunky. And you're like, thanks.
Yeah.
If they said that to me, I'd be like, what you say?
Yeah. But it's just different. It's different to see, because then you hear that from an outside view, and you're like, maybe my view is on this is, you know, not tainted, but not right. It's I don't have the right view. I'm looking through a different kind of lens than everybody else is.
The only thing that you're allowed to comment on and say that it's gotten fat is my booty. I was like battling. Like, am I gonna say this? I'm like, yeah, I am.
I like it. Makes me think of that. Is it a TikTok? I don't know. You showed me a video and somebody said, yeah, they're like, so you think I'm skinny? And they're like super excited about it.
I like the one where it says when it's a girl, she gained weight, yeah. Or she lost weight, either one, and ends up showing it, and it ends up being like, it's me, Jessica, I'm in here, and I'm like, I want to laugh so hard. Actually, I do laugh, but it's just so funny to me. I'm like, I like the one when it does that. It's so skinny. It's me, Jessica, I'm in here. Okay,
let's dive into this.
What struggles have you had when it comes to body issues? I mean, I guess you kind of answered.
I kind of went over that. Just seeing myself as small. The stretch marks, like, I don't mind. Like, I feel good about. I'm different.
Muscles stretched.
Yeah,
so
like I got bigger. Like when you have stretch marks showing, it's like in those kind of areas, it's like the chest and the arms and the back and stuff. It's like it shows that. Okay,
what about the stomach though?
I don't have ones on the stomach.
Oh, must be nice.
I have some on my thigh and my booty.
So what happens when you got a 10-pounder baby?
Yeah.
Oh man, those were the days. Well, so how have you overcame body shaming yourself, or what steps have you taken to?
I can't say that I've overcome it. Like it's one of those things that I have to fight every single day. I think that's definitely one of my hidden giants. You know, I mean, we all have giants that are standing there mocking us. For the longest time for me, like a non-hidden giant for me was like porn. Like that obviously wasn't hidden. You know, I mean, it may have been hidden to others, but to me, it wasn't hidden. That's something that I knew, you know, but a hidden giant that I didn't know about, it was definitely body shaming. Like walking up, brushing my teeth, seeing myself in the mirror and being like disgusted, like gross, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it gets down even into like how I do my hair, how my clothes fit on my body.
And I realized like when we got together too, you were like so insecure and not confident with yourself at all, like in everything.
Yeah.
Not just like your looks, but like everything of yourself. And I was like, dude, why are you that way? I don't understand why you are, because you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And it took you a little bit, so I think you've gotten better for sure.
I think it's like, obviously you can not have a lack of confidence in other areas of your life. And it's not, you know, from body shaming, but I do think that there is a certain amount that of lack of confidence that comes in other areas of your life that does stem from body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Because if I can do everything that I can to like wear clothes a certain way, the way that I like them, try and do my hair the best that I can, and I look in the mirror and it's still not good enough, then I'm like, okay, what other areas of my life, you know?
Ooh.
Like what other areas of my life am I seeing something and I'm like, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. And somebody's like,
I feel like it has
you're fine.
I feel like there's something else going on in you that you don't realize.
Yeah.
Like I realize that like when it's my own insecurities, it could have been nothing even done. Like there's like this root problem that keeps coming up. So we obviously haven't dealt with it. And I feel like you can't ever.
Well, that's what I was saying. As far as
someone says that they're so confident and they love themselves every day, no matter what, like that's great. But I feel like, I mean, I wish that would be me. I go back and forth. Like there's some days where I think that I just accept who I am and being like, you know what, it doesn't really matter. Like this, I don't have to look a certain way to be like, is this gonna matter in the end to God and like. In heaven?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be like, girl, you big.
Yeah.
Girl, you.
Girl, you huge. That's probably one of my most favorite.
You should probably say.
Lines.
Okay, I was gonna say you should.
So if any of you guys don't know, I'm not calling my wife huge. It's from Madagascar 2. It's when the big hippos and all. Anyways, he's complimenting her by telling her that she's huge. He's like, girl, you huge. She's like, what else can you tell about me? He's like,
you thick.
Girl, you thick. Okay, but what about my personality? Girl, you plumpy.
Yeah. Oh, that is so funny. I do love that.
I bust up every single time.
Me too.
I can't handle it.
I like them big.
So, okay, in answer to that question, I would say I haven't totally overcame it. But steps that I take to help me with my mental health as far as body dysmorphia goes is if I end up seeing something that I really like, oh, I really like that shirt, or I really like those jeans, or and there's times like where I even have to tell you where you'll be like, oh no, don't wear that or whatever, and I have to be like, no, I'm gonna wear it, because, and it's not against you, it's just like in me, I'm like I now have to wear this, like unless I see it and I'm just like, oh no, you're right, like that is absolutely terrible or whatever.
You now have to wear it. Why?
Because it's not like, oh, I have to.
Because you're fighting that battle in your head.
Yeah,
whether you like it or
yeah, it's that battle in my head. Like, no, I'm gonna wear this because I like it, and as long as it's not like crazy, I'm gonna wear it because
crazy.
I know that if I start doing things that I like and I start, stepping out, then I'm more apt to look in the mirror and be like, that's a nice outfit, or I look okay. Like you don't have to always. And stop checking the mirror so much. Like, if you're always constantly like, okay, yeah, I know. I know you're looking at me. But I have to, like, because I'm like, okay, does this look okay? Okay. Is my hair okay? Okay. Like, it's just one of those things.
What's so funny is because, people have said to us, and this is why it's so funny. We'll think, like, horrible things about ourselves. Yeah. And I'm just, like, we're average people, Yeah. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is who we are. And so you, like, get these, like, glasses on or whatever. Yeah. And then people will say, like, I was so scared to talk to you or whatever it is because of, like, how pretty you guys are. Or you guys, like, look perfect and stuff. And we're like, what the heck? Like, what? I'm like, no.
Bro, you lying.
No, but I think it came from genuine hearts. Like,
no, it did. It did. But in me, I'm just like.
When people say that, well, like, I don't know where it stems from. I'm trying to figure that out. So, like, when I was little, and I don't even know why I've had this, there must have been a point where maybe it was when, I think I'm actually, like, God's, like, probably bringing it to my attention right now because of what happened. So, I don't know if this is what stems from it, but I remember all the way back when I was probably, like, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around that. No, I had to have been 9 or 10 because we were still at the other house. So I went to this like youth rally thing and I had a lot of friends and stuff. And these two popular boys that were like known of the church or whatever. I ended up getting a haircut like a couple weeks before that. And it wasn't like shaving, like just a buzz cut, but it was like a pixie cut. And, so I feel like I was pretty confident with myself. I don't know. I don't really remember, but this is the first instance that I know that I started like feeling like not good about myself and really crappy as like a girl. Is when I felt great about my haircut and I liked it and I had it matching my sister, and then I get there and one of the boys made a comment being like, why did you do that to your hair? You look like a boy or something like that. Yeah. And I was already like, and that was when actually this is a stage of when I was trying to transition into, I was really tomboyish because, that's just what girls do when they're around that age usually. And I was trying to transition into being more of like wear girly things and stuff. Like it was just around that age where you kind of just, it's uncomfortable, but you like know like that's where you're going or whatever. And so I was really uncomfortable already, but I felt good about myself. And then they said that. And then from then on, I feel like that, like everyone says like words don't hurt, but it really does.
Oh yeah.
Especially as a kid when
the funny thing is one of them ended up liking you later on, and it wasn't
No, they both. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So whatever. So like, mic drop.
Yeah.
The ending was neither. I'm with neither, and I don't want neither. Okay. Well, anyways, but you call me a boy, and
Well, and you got to remember too, like the thing that you see about yourself isn't what everybody else sees about you. Yeah. So like my buddy. Two of my buddies, they're jacked and they're, pretty buff. And like, I'm like, dang dude, I'm like, you look good. like I'm not making a pass at you, but you look good. Like, holy cow. And he's like, really? Oh, thanks. I've been hitting the weights and stuff, but that's probably not the same view that they have of themselves, and vice versa. Like, I'm like, I don't look at it. And my buddy's like, dude, you've definitely made progress. You're looking good. And I'm like, oh. So you got to remember, in like, just because what you see in yourself doesn't mean that's what others see in you. I know that we gauge everybody else's opinions probably off of our own opinions, because it's like, that's what we know. It's like, oh, he probably thinks this because I think this. And a lot of the times it's not the case, so that when you actually do get to meet someone, you're like... That's
literally what I was just going to say.
You're like, oh, I totally thought that would have been this way, or I totally thought you would have been that way. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Well, that's how it kind of is. That's what I was just going to say. Like, something I struggle with when it comes to body image, it's not even necessarily what other people say, because I feel like people's words, and don't get me wrong, people's words matter, but I am such a person that went through so much in my life that people can tell me things all the time. And sometimes, like, especially from people that I don't know, and they say stuff, it will make my day and be like, oh, thank you. Like, because it usually is the days that I need it or something, but it's not, mine isn't like what other people think about me. It's like what I think of myself is what is the hardest thing for me. Like, I will pick myself apart, not because of what someone else said now. Like, I feel like I've gotten really good about being like, you know, whatever, it is what it is. You like it or you don't, like, 450 bye kind of thing. But it's just shutting down what I think of myself, because there's definitely times that I get onto myself, and I don't even know why. I don't know if it's because I've been cheated on before. I don't know if it's because it stems all the way back from when I was younger. So there's always like this.
Could just be a multitude of reasons that add up.
Like, you just don't know what it is, and I do know things that trigger me for sure. So I try to like stay away from that, definitely. But
so how? Not how.
I was gonna say how.
Are you able to help your spouse with their body dysmorphia? And if so, how do you help them?
Am I able to help my spouse with their body dysmorphia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like that I've helped you for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much of a positive difference I make, but...
You always compliment me in my...
I definitely compliment you, and that's not even really my love language either. Like, I don't receive it that way, and I don't really give it that way, but I can't help it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you gotta look so good sometimes?
I would say it helps me because... I don't know, just the consistency in your words and in your actions, I feel better. Because, like, there's times where I'm like, I'm having a crap day, and I'm like, whatever. Like, my wife loves me, so...
You know what? That's actually, that's so true. I do that with too.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if I get down about myself and I like don't like something about like how my body looks because I've had a baby. So, I mean, I feel like stretch marks don't actually bother me as much. It's maybe like, you know, the smaller like little pooch of the bottom part of your stomach. Tummy. That's what sucks, because like when I did work out all the time and had abs, it was still like a little bit poochier on the bottom, and it still bugged me. But I was like, you know what, screw it. But now that I'm like with you, there's times I definitely have to fight the battle of saying like, why would he ever want to be with someone that looks like me? Blah blah blah. To, he loves that pooch or something. You can grab that.
That sounds so bad.
Why?
That sounds so bad.
I did not even think about that.
Oh.
We're talking about stomach.
Sean's gonna have to edit this one out.
No, he's not.
No,
that's where I'm just like, okay, who cares? Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, he's gonna, even if you, like, it doesn't matter what you do with your body. Like, you could be, I know the guys, okay, I am definitely gonna say this, and I don't care. You're, like, so nervous about it, but I've already told you before. I love to see really, like, attractive couples, or, like, one that's, like, really attractive, and has one that's maybe not so attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
though? And like they love each other so much.
As far as the world goes, attractive on a worldly scale.
Yeah, like what maybe what I think is attractive or whatever. And I would just see like, and you can tell like he either just loves her so much, because it's so hard these days to see men like appreciate who they're
with.
Yeah, who they're with. Like, and what they don't care so much about like bodies, and we put too much of a pressure on ourselves, and maybe some guys have made us feel that way, or ourselves or other girls at the gym or whatever, it doesn't matter. But I truly love saying that because I'm like, oh, I love that he loves her so much. It gives me like hope for humanity, being like, it doesn't have to be a certain way.
It doesn't have to be about just looks.
It doesn't have to be about looks. It's really what the heart.
That's not what dating and marriage is even about, anyways. I mean, you got to be attracted.
But it shows you, and it gives you hope for that.
Yeah.
But I think that I do a pretty dang good job. Not on purpose, and I don't like purposely do either. It's not like I'm trying. Like it kind of just comes out, because I like have to hug you, and I'm like, oh, you're so cute.
Yeah.
And or I end up getting, like, let me see those muscles.
Or I end up, because you don't always show me the stuff you post on Facebook, and I end up getting pictures sent to me by my coworkers of videos or pictures that you post on there, and I'm like,
they're in trouble.
Yeah.
They're exposing me, and I try to hide that from you. I'm just kidding.
But it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like you don't even plan on telling me about it, or you post it and you don't like, or you forget to tell me, kind of thing. And so it's like it's already out there. I don't know it, so it's coming straight out of the heart.
Well, but it's not something that's also like inappropriate either.
No, I'm saying it's like it's coming straight out of the heart. It's not like you're trying to do it just to.
You're like, oh, look what I posted.
Yeah, just to get my attention or make it's like it's genuine. So
yeah,
little things like that. If I can get my phone unlocked, what are some of your healthy goals that you want to achieve when it comes to body image?
When it comes to body image, well.
Or what goals have you set in place that you're...
So goals that I like currently do is balance. This sounds so bad, but for real, for me to not like be overly obsessed, because I could be either one complete way or the other. Like either binge eat everything and I love food because...
And you don't care, or you're like, I will never have sugar ever again. And I'm like...
So for me to do...
No. No.
Won't do it.
No, because I am more of the... But I mean, that's what my nutritional plan is right now. It's a balance. Like I can have some of this. I can have some of that. I need to make wise decisions throughout the week, splurge on the weekend. And so I can ride with that so well. And you're like... I'm going on this diet, and it's like hardcore. I will never touch a single piece of sugar again, and I'm like, I can't do this.
No, I don't do it forever again. That's definitely that's not real life.
Hardcore one way or the other. Or you're like I already had milk products, so screw it. We're gonna have ice cream 2 days in a row.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm like, yes.
But it's not really like. I also do stuff like that because if you get your body in a kickstart, it continues to motivate me.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I'm like, if you just give me a plan. Like if I'm just to keep going by myself, sometimes, then it's going to be all out of whack. Like it probably is not going to be as balanced. It's going to be trash.
Yeah.
But I feel like I already have to kind of eat healthy because I have a gluten allergy.
Yeah.
So I really do have meats, veggies. Fruits, boiled eggs, like all the regular stuff. So I feel like I fairly eat pretty healthy, but I still give myself permission. And I wouldn't say I don't like do it every single time, but I like fight it in my head of saying like not to get like obsessive because I've been obsessive about what I eat before. And being like, you can have this and it's okay. Like you're not going to be fat tomorrow. Like, and like actually there's been many times where this is actually probably the biggest I've been, whatever. But I don't care as much. Like, the older I get, the more confident I get about who I am and, like, God. It's an identity issue. Like, when I start being more confident with who I am and I, like, love who I am myself, doesn't necessarily mean, like, the way I look, but the way I feel. Like, that's the most important to me is how I feel. So my goals are to eat healthier and, go to the gym or just get like your body moving just so you can feel better. Like I actually notice a lot more results when I go to the gym when I don't do it for a result of like losing a lot of weight, for just like sticking to a healthy, like consistent schedule, being consistent with what I do and not going one or the other, just staying this way. And really, I mean, that's kind of it. Not fight. Well, And not weighing myself. That's one thing that I have, like, I have this boundary that obviously if you're on some like meal plan and stuff, you have to do certain things sometimes about weighing yourself, but I don't like to weigh myself as much because it like puts me in like almost a like depressive mood. Not always, but and I've been shocked before and it's been a good thing, but I know that like I said earlier, my muscle mass is so heavy, but I've looked like when I did my weightlifting, I weighed probably almost the most then, but looked the best.
Yeah.
So I really can't go off the scale. And so I have to really discipline myself on not checking my weight because I could look better in my clothes or do all this stuff, but be heavier. And I'm like, no, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this because there's been many times where I just kept trying to lose weight. And yeah, it would work at the time to look a certain way, but I wasn't like happy. It's just like I honestly think body image is a big like mindset issue as well. Yeah. Like you literally have to think positive about yourself, and instead of looking at yourself in the mirror and finding 3 things to pick yourself apart, find 3 things that are positive. I've had to do that before, and it does help. I am gonna say, like, when you start looking at the positive over the negative, I have beat it before and like not let it bother me as much. Yeah, there's some days better than the other, but I really am just like, you know what, it doesn't really matter. You can treat your body like, you know, the temple is what it says. Your body is a temple. It's like 1 Corinthians or something. I'm terrible at that kind of stuff, but yeah, your body as a temple, because you want to be healthy, but in the same way. I don't know. But I do want to read something I read today, and it's so weird that it actually came because I never said anything to anyone about it. It just came on my feed, and it was a little post that someone said, and I was like, wow, that's really good. And that's a good one too, is asking for forgiveness to God. Like, he's the one who made us. Like, yeah, things that we eat and things that we do have consequences to whether we gain weight or not, or whatever it is. But like thinking of yourself in such a terrible way when we're God's creations. Like, he literally made us, each and every one of us. So that's where I have to like constantly be like, it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what God thinks, and he loves me no matter what. Yeah. But like constantly asking for forgiveness for yourself too, if you do like mess up. Yeah. Like when I used to get on myself for like eating ice cream or giving to a gluten-free cake or whatever it is. And I used to get really down on myself and being like, why'd you do that? And instead of doing that, I'm like, you know what? Like, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. But it does say, so it says, Father, today I ask for forgiveness of all the negative and harmful words I've spoken about myself. I do not want to abuse myself in such a way. Transform my thoughts and let me understand how marvelously you made me. Change my habits so I can use my tongue to speak hope and favor upon my life. In Jesus' name. That's good.
That is good.
Like, I've been convicted of that before, of when I've really like thought that I was like ugly or, you know, whatever the flaw I thought of myself is. And then it was kind of like a heart check, and God's like, and I was like, okay, actually I'm beautifully and wonderfully made in your image. So sorry.
Yeah. That's like looking at a piece of artwork with the painter standing. You've heard that metaphor, like the painter standing right there, and you look at a piece of artwork and you're like, that thing sucks. You know, so when you talk trash about yourself in front of God, he's the one that made us, you know, and you're like, I hate this. Mm-hmm. But
check yourself.
He's like, He's like, I do nothing but good work. So.
Okay. Well, you gotta pray us out for people that are struggling with body dysmorphia and body image. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you that you decided to take so much time to spend on us and making us and putting everything together the way you wanted it and the way you saw fit. Help us to have a better view of ourselves Lord, and to overcome this body dysmorphia and the body image problems in this world, Lord. Help us to not look towards the carnal things of this world to find happiness in our body and in our images. Lord, help us to look to you and what you say about us and how you see us, Lord. Help us to look through your lenses and help bring healing in those places of trauma and pain. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Well, I honestly can't believe how fast this goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested in checking out more of our podcasts as they come available, please download our app in your device's app store or check us out on your podcast platform at Garden Valley Church. We look forward to seeing you next time.